Welcome back to another YouTube live here on my channel. And again, if you are new here, hi, welcome. And I'm Coach Jovan, and I help entrepreneurs develop a very strong entrepreneurial mindset so that they can succeed in achieving the business that they want and love. All right, I'm super excited today because if you were here last week or if you saw my post, I decided to share some wonderful gifts and giveaways to the people who are attending today. So I am planning to give away my most valuable coaching service, which is a deep dive coaching session, and there will be two winners today. So I'm super excited for that. Let me say hi to everyone who is here. So Bui Hong Lee, Hani, Wu Yen, uh, and then we have Nguyen Dang, Yen Li. Wow, quite long. It's like my name. My name is also very long. Do you guys know my full name? My full name is Jesus Jovan Medrano. So my first name is actually Jesus. So yes, we have Save, Secure, Invest. Wow, must be a very established YouTube channel. Letty is here, back here. Jack's Produce. Wow, a lot of business joining us today. Hello everyone. We have Regina as well. Thank you. So let me quickly before we start answering questions, and I know my glasses is excited to come onto my face. But before I start answering questions, let me quickly just share to the early birds. Well, not technically not early. You're on time. Like how we're gonna do the raffle later on, the giveaways. So the raffle will be at 9:40 p.m. So roughly 9:40 p.m. And so we will check in like people who are joining, who are commenting, and then we will add you to the raffle. And then 9:40 we'll pick the winners. So if you are not around during that time, well, I'm so sorry. Then we will have to choose another one. All right. So those are the rules. So a little hello. We have Tran, we have Tuong, and a little bit about the prize today. So the coach deep dive coaching session. So it's a 2 hour coaching session. 2 hours. So other coaches would normally give 1 hour, and but this is 2 hours. So definitely there's really enough time to really go deep, and have a very deep conversation. You can use it like if you want to like be very clear in the goals that you want, maybe for next 3 years, 5 years, or maybe you want to talk about your business, the business that you plan to start, or maybe you're having issues with your business and you want to have it solved, so you can use it for that. Or maybe you just want to like really do a personal development kind of coaching session, like really clear up some things that is happening inside of you. That is also possible. So that's why it's really a valuable coaching session, because you can use it in a lot of ways. The important thing is that we can go deep because we have enough time. So that's 2 hours, and there will be two winners for that. All right, good. Okay, so questions starts to come in. Wow, hello everyone. Say hi if you are around. Say hi, and then now I need to change my state. Bye, coach, and welcome, Professor. Professor Jovan is back. Okay, all right. Let's see. What do we have here? Lily. Hi, Lily. Welcome. So, where are my questions? Okay, so the main question that was from last, I think, 2 or 3 sessions ago, and so we picked that up. I wasn't able to answer it, and then we are answering it today. So feel free to ask more questions. I'm gonna be answering them. So this is our main question today. So how to have a good business idea? And honestly, um, I've I've been doing business now for about 14 years, and the one thing that is for me now, right, is like it's so easy to have is business ideas. And um, it's not that it's really easy, but I've gotten used to it, and it's very simple, right? So once, what happened was when I was an employee, because I was busy with other things, right? I was busy with work. I was busy with, like, satisfying my bosses, and then I'm tired and go back home, and then, like the normal life of an employee. And when I became, when I stopped working, and I became an entrepreneur, or started thinking about starting my own business, that's when I had a lot of time. And when I had a lot of time, I had the space to actually think. And so I went through business programs as well. And what I learned is that business is really about solving problems, right? If you can see a problem and you find a way to solve it and monetize it, like earn money from it, then you have a business. So the easiest way to actually come up with business ideas, and this is just business ideas, I'm not saying yet that if it's a good business idea, is to look around everywhere, like, around your house. You go outside when you're walking, or maybe you're going to the office while you're working. Look around and look for problems, and the bigger the problem that you see, then it's highly likely that you can create a bigger business as well, a big business. So that's one of the easiest way to do it. And so there's so many business ideas that you can come up with, and and it's like, like just dropping like rain. That's gonna happen to you if you just take time to really look at, the problems. Okay, so that is how you can get a business idea. But how can you have a good business idea? And so the difference is now, it's a good business idea if it matches you, like what's important to you, what do you value, does it match your strength, uh, does it match your dream lifestyle. And so if the business idea matches you, what is important to you and what is your strengths, etc., etc., then that becomes a very good business idea. Let me explain very quickly. Let me explain. Running a business, starting a business is actually quite easy. And a lot of my business clients, business coaching clients, they don't believe me at first, but really starting a business is the easiest part. Is the easiest part. Running a business and keeping it successful for many many years, that is really the job of an entrepreneur. So anyway, running a business for many many years, like successful one, you need to have that passion, you need to have that commitment, you need to have the energy, you need to have interest, you need to have the care and love for what you're doing. And these are all the components that you need to put into that business so that you can last very long and do whatever it takes for the business to succeed. And so that's what makes a very good business idea. When you can match these two, then uh, then you got it. So so for those here who are just starting and then you're just still coming up with business ideas. So what I can suggest is that you can like take out a notebook and start listing down the business ideas, and do not judge it. Like there's no good or bad, right or wrong. Just list down, like even if it sounds crazy, you just list down that business idea and then just write, and then at the end of the day look at it, or maybe at the end of the week look at those ideas and then start filtering them, start crossing them out. Oh, okay, this business idea I like. Okay, I will keep this. Oh, this is business idea. No, 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 I don't like that. Okay. So then while you're doing this exercise, you're slowly getting into that specific business that is for you, right? So that's a very simple exercise that you can actually start doing. Good. I hope I have answered that question well. There's more people here. Hi, hello everyone. So we have Malene, and we have JB Medrano. JB Medrano is actually my dad. Hi, Dad. Tan Tan, An Huang. Hello, Christy Dalen. Oh, a lot of new names today. Welcome, welcome, Relin. We have Hien Din. Yes. Okay. Welcome, welcome. And again, just to remind you, we'll have a raffle draw later on. So please stay all throughout so you get a chance to win that. Okay, let me answer some questions here. Ooh, there are some double questions here. Uh, okay, let me answer this one from Honey. How can I build my personal brand successfully from the beginning? Okay. Ooh, this has so I love marketing, right? So I've mentioned this many times in the YouTube live. I love marketing, and branding is part of marketing. So branding is something that is developed, right? So branding, you really need to start, even if you're not 100% clear on the brand that you envision or you dream of, but you need to start. So branding is really something that immediately you need to start, and it's a mixture of many components. So brand is basically like how you want people to remember you, right? So that's brand, how you want people to remember you. And so let's say, for example, let's take, very easy one, Apple. So when you think about Apple, what do you think of? You think of quality, you think of beautiful, like very well designed. And that has been, done by Apple from the start. But it wasn't, so when they started Mac in the 80s, it, their look, their logo, the packaging of their computers was totally different from how it looks now, right? But they started developing them like it needs to look good. It needs to look different from the competitors, which is IBM and HP. So once you start your brand, don't be like so stuck that this is how it's supposed to be, because it can always change. But definitely you need to develop the brand. And what like top marketers say, right? So this is what they say: if you really want people to remember you, you only need to focus on one word that they will remember you from. Like, for example, uh, let's say the cars. Let's say cars, right? So I love this example. So one is Volvo. So when you mention Volvo, what word comes up? What one word? So immediately you will think of safety, right? That's what they're known for. And then if you think about, let's say, BMW, if you think about BMW, you probably think of sporty, right? So they design their cars, like for running very fast. And then if you think about Mercedes, they will say, you probably think of class, like classy. And so if you can, for honey, right? So if you can think of that one word that you want to use as a brand for your business, then you're off to a great start. Off to a great start. Okay, I hope I answered that question, honey. Okay, good. Saying hi. Juliet is here. Hi, Juliet. Trong, hello, hello. Yeah, maybe let me show some of the names. Hi, Trong is here. Hello, and then we have Juliet. Nice. And then this is Relin. That's what, a flower. Hyundin. Okay. Hello. Okay. Next question. Du- 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 du. Okay. Is it? Oh, interesting question. This is about real estate. Real estate properties. Is it from Ngong Ak Mo? And she asked, is it possible to invest in real estate without having a big amount of money and just based on credit card? Whew. Okay. As a rule, as a general rule, right? Using credit card for big purchases, I don't suggest, because the the cycle for credit card is monthly, right? So if you're not able to pay that, then you pay the interest rates, and then it just snowballs. So I don't suggest the credit card part. But it's possible to invest in real estate without having a big amount of money. And there's so many ways to do that. So one is you need to understand how to use and leverage other people's money. So if if you are able to show this other person the value of the investment, then it is possible to create an offer that you can use other people's money to invest in properties. Okay. So that's one. So meaning it's like in business, you find an investor to, like, you pitch, you sell the idea about this investment, about this property, and how much it's gonna earn, blah blah blah. And then from there, once you convince the investor, then they put in the money, and then you invest into that property, so on and so forth, right? So it's like business. Then the second one, if you and this is when I learned this, it was like mind blowing. Um, if if you want to invest in a property and you cannot afford it, look for other investors that will buy together with you. So this is called co-investing, right? So many years ago, maybe 10 years ago, yes, 10 years ago, I thought when I buy a property, I just buy it myself, right? So, like, I buy this property by myself, I buy this property by myself, I buy this property by myself. And So when I attended the course, I actually learned that it is possible to buy a property where several of you to join together to buy that property. So now you don't need a lot of money because maybe 5 or 10 of you are buying that property. So you share the cost of the property. But of course, you also share the profits, right? You share the profits, you share, whatever the rental income, whatever, if it's an investment property, right? Normally you would do that for investment properties. Of course, you won't do that if that's your house where you're gonna live, right? So you won't you don't want to go buy a property where you will be living. So you share the cost and then you share the profits as well. And this is something that is really really mind blowing for me when I learned this the first time. But that is totally possible, totally possible and legal as well, and it's legal. All right, so those are the two things that I can share with you, Mo, that you can actually do that. I hope that helps. Good. All right. So yeah, stay on. Later on, we'll have a raffle draw for that giveaway, 2 free coaching sessions. And let me see if there anyone else saying hi. Chung is here. Hello. We have Lynn as well. Hi everyone. Hi hi. And Tran has a question. Let me answer that. Okay, so there's not a lot of people who ask me about my routine actually. So, what is my daily routine to stay positive and energetic? So interesting. I have a story. So interestingly, I think it was 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. A friend of mine called me up. So we started talking, da da da, like business stuff. And then he asked me this question, like, how come you're always so happy and positive and energetic? And um, and so I told him, well, one thing I can tell you honestly is that I am not always happy and positive. That is impossible to do, to be honest, especially in life, in going through, like, entrepreneurship. There'll be challenges, there'll be rejections, there'll be ups and downs, definitely. So so i am i want to clear that up first. And like now in social media, hello, we can only see positive things. And I think that's why a lot of people feel, FOMO, fear of missing out, because we always post positive things in social media, right? And and yeah, people have a misconception or wrong perception that I'm always positive and happy. But anyway, so just wanted to clear that up. But I try my best to be really positive and energetic, because I interact with a lot of people. And one of the things that I am fully aware of is my effect on people, right? So whenever I meet someone, even if it's just one to one or maybe one to many, just imagine this. Just imagine this. So I go to meet someone, right, for a meeting. And then when I sit down and I start complaining, like, oh my god, it's so hot outside. That taxi driver was, like, so loud and so noisy. And like, blah, 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 blah. Just complaining and complaining and complaining. How would the other person feel, right? How would the other person feel? Not good, right? Whereas if I come in, and when when I sit down, and then I'll have my smile on, and then I'll be shaking that person's hand. Hey, how are you, man? Like, what's up? What's happening to you? Like having that positive energy and vibe. How does that other person feel? Now they start to feel good as well, right? And so I think that's something that we as human beings start to forget, is that we affect each other, even if it's just our energy, and that's just the person that I'm interacting with. But our energy actually is quite big and expansive, and it affects the people around us as well, even though they are not the person I'm talking to. And so I'm very aware of that, and so as much as possible I stay positive and energetic. And like what I said, sometimes I'm not like that, and it's okay. So there will be days that I'll be down, and so I just be with it. And then when I start to feel much better, then I can go out again and interact with people. Yep. So that's kind of like my mindset for that. Routine wise, I don't actually have a routine to stay positive. Maybe one way to change my state is I do a gratefulness exercise. So my gratefulness exercise is very simple. I look at my surroundings, me, my whatever is present, and then I pick three things, even if it's just a small thing that I'm grateful for. And it can be, let's say for example, it can be like, so this room, that's a window, and if I open that window, there are trees out there, and I can hear the birds. And even if I just hear that, right? So I would say I'm very grateful that I can hear those birds singing, or I'm grateful that I can wake up today. I'm grateful that I have my eyes so I can see. And just doing those simple exercise, three things that I'm grateful for, immediately my state will change, right? Because if you are grateful, at that same moment you cannot be sad, you cannot be angry, you cannot be fearful, uh, when you are grateful. So that's one way. It's not exactly a routine, but it's a technique that I use so that I can change my state to become more positive, right? So that's that. I hope I answered that question. Awesome. All right. Cool. They're almost halfway and closer to the raffle draw. Woohoo. Okay, so let me answer some other questions that we have here. Wow. Honey is asking some very good questions. Uh, okay, Honey, thank you for asking this. This is not exactly a business question, but I think it's important as entrepreneurs to to ask more about ourselves as well, right? So she asked, "How do I see myself as valuable?" And uh, it's a very interesting question, because honestly, so there are different peoples that I have experienced in my life. So there are people who really know their value and they show it in the world, and then there are people who totally don't know their value. They just go with the flow, whatever is happening in their life. And then there are people in the middle who they know somewhat their value, like they know they have value, but they cannot really know exactly what it is. And the people that I normally help is in the middle one. Is in the middle. Like they have an idea that I can do a lot more in on this planet. I feel I am here for something bigger. Like they ask those kind of questions. They say those kind of things, and those are the people that I normally help, right? And it's because it's about getting clarity. It's about digging deep and finding what's that for them. And I love this example that I think I saw this like many years ago. Hold on, I'll do a demonstration. So this is my wallet. As you can see, I have my face mask there. And let me see. Okay, so I have what is this? Can you see? Can you see? It's a $100 bill, US dollar, right? So we all know money, right? We all know money. And how many of you know how much is the value of $100 US? You know how much? You don't know? Come on. It's $100 US. That's the value. It's not a trick question. It's not a trick question. So we know that this is $100 US, and we know that for example, you go to Philippines, you change this money to Philippine peso, it will be equivalent to how much peso. If you go to Singapore, you exchange it to Singapore dollars, you will know how much Singapore dollars. You go to Vietnam, how much Vietnamese dong will be this $100, right? So we know how much this the value of the $100. But if I crumple this and I scratch it on the floor, now how much is the value of, so let's say for example you see this on the street, wet and dirty, and you saw this, and then you open it up, and then you see, hey, it's $100. How much is the value of this now? Still $100, right? So Uyen, yes. So she says still $100. Exactly. So even though it's crumpled, even though it's dirty, even though it's wet, uh, and all these things, it's still $100. So how come when it comes to money, we know exactly the value, right? Whereas us humans, we cannot see our own value. Why is that? And that is something that I honestly I struggled with as well, like many years ago. And it's because when we're young, we unconsciously we know who we are. We know how much we can bring into this world. We dream. There's no constraint. There's nothing stopping us from dreaming, like dreaming big, like, oh, I want to be a pilot, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be the president of the universe, or the world. And when we're a kid, we know our value. We know how much we can do in this world. And when while we're growing up, like we experience problems, we experience like this way of teaching, that way of teaching, and we start to shrink. We start to become smaller and smaller and smaller, and that's when we start to lose sight of who we really are. What is our value? What are we capable of? And what is our true potential, right? And that's really sad. Like for me, because I experienced that myself. It's really, it's really sad. You know, like, just imagine going through life, becoming very old, and when you're very very old, you cannot move anymore, and you're not very active, and then you think to yourself, what if I could have done those things? What if I could have been like this? And yeah, it's just sad that we are not going to be able to reach our full potential or true potential, because we cannot see our own value. So that is very sad. But ultimately we have so much potential, we have so much value to bring into this world. And that's why I do what I do as a coach, because I help people see that for themselves. And if they can even start to see a small glimpse of it, ah it's really very very fulfilling for me once they actually do that. And it doesn't matter where you are right now in life, whether you are working for somebody, whether you are like a manager, whether you are unemployed, whatever you are or wherever you are right now in your life, it doesn't matter, because you can always look for and find your true potential and start working towards that. And I started quite late in life. And whenever I meet young people, I would always say, I envy you so much, because you have so many years ahead of you to find that your true purpose, your full potential. And you can try out things and make mistake, and then try out another thing. And I don't have that luxury anymore, right? And so yeah, so wherever you are, it is possible to actually start and find that your own value. Yeah. And you might not be able to see it for yourself now, because it might be a blind spot for you, but definitely you are valuable, and you have that true potential that you can tap on. Yeah. So it's a very roundabout answer to your question, honey. But if you cannot see it for yourself, which sometimes it is hard, then there are people out there, like me, like a coach, that can help you see that value for you, right? I can help you. So good. I hope I answered that question. Good. All right. Ooh, this is very interesting. Okay. So Nam Huin, what do we make money for? And we're just talking about value. So that's a very good question, and I don't have a model answer for that, because every person is different, and every person will have a different reason why do they make money. It can be to feel secured. It can be because they want to provide for their family. It can be it's just what society tells us, right? And it can be many many reasons. And so what I can contribute to you, if you're asking this question, is what to ask yourself, what do you want to make money for? And um, because a lot of us in this world needs to make money, because it is how we can survive, right? So that's our society right now. That's how the society is built. We need money to transact, to so that we can buy food, we can pay for the rent, pay for the utilities, blah blah blah, for school, for example. So okay, so it's alarming. So it's 9:40. So let me finish this question. And the main thing here is when you ask this question, what do you want to make money for? And if you get an answer, ask yourself, is that meaningful for me? Right? Is that meaningful? Because here's the thing, right? Here's the thing that's what's gonna happen. If you are just earning money or making money for the sake of making money, at some point, and this is 100% guaranteed, at some point in your life you will feel empty. At some point, for sure. 100%. If you're just earning money just to earn money without any meaning in it, at some point you will feel empty, and you'll ask yourself, why the heck am I doing this, right? And and if if we know that's going to happen already in the future, then why not take action now, right? So don't waste any more time. Take action now. Find something that is meaningful for you, and you earn money from it, right? And I know a lot of people who has, like, very very how to say, simple jobs, but it's very meaningful for them when they earn money. The money that they receive is very meaningful, and so they're happy doing that, for the rest of their lives. So that is the main question that you want to ask. It's like, what is the meaning of this for you, right? Good. I hope I've answered that, and yeah, I hope you're satisfied with that. Good, good, good. Now it's time for the wheel. It's time for the giveaway. All right, it's time for the giveaway. Okay, so let me see. There's some other question. Okay, I'll answer some of the other questions after our raffle draw. So again, I am giving away two deep dive coaching sessions, and one coaching session is actually worth $250. And now we have the wheel. Woo! Okay, the wheel. My assistant, the wheel is a bit cut off, so you need to show the whole wheel. All right. Yeah. Save, secure, and invest says it's exciting part. Let's go. Yes, it is exciting. Okay. Cool. The wheel is a bit cut off. Maybe you need to move it a bit. Yes. Perfect. Okay. Ready. So now, those who are here are inside. Your names are inside the wheel, and we're now going to choose the first winner. If you are not around, I'm so sorry, but we will have to give it to someone else. Okay, I hope you understand. I hope you understand. That's a very simple rule. Okay. Oh, and then one more thing. One more thing. If you happen to win, and then this is just an option. If you choose to transfer this to someone else, you can. That is possible. I will allow that if you want to transfer to someone else. Okay, but we will discuss that later. So whoever win will get your contact information, and so don't after you win then suddenly you disappear. Please don't do that. We will get your contact information so I can get in touch. Okay, now without further ado, it's 9:44. Let's go, and let's pick the first winner. Spin the wheel. Okay, it's my dad. So I'm sure my dad my dad will pass that to someone else. So just remove his name. Ah, so funny. Okay. Thank you, Dad, for being here. Love you. Okay, let's pick our first winner again. Oh, my dad will complain. Hey, how come you don't want to coach me? I don't want to coach you, Dad. I don't want to coach you. Okay. Um, let's spin the wheel. First winner, go. Uh, 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 Hien Din. Sorry, Hien Din. Woohoo! Congratulations! Congratulations! All right. Okay, that's our first one. The second one, spin the wheel. Christy Dallin! Woohoo! Congratulations! So we have two winners. Two winners. Nice, nice. So, Hien, Dean, and Christy, please stay and we'll get your contact information. Wow. Thank you very much. And again, okay, we can remove the wheel now. Uh, and again, I'm giving away this two coaching sessions because my birthday month is next month, and so to celebrate that, I just wanted to, share the joy and share the love to other people, and I thought it's a nice payback to the people that has been helping me out, been following me. Um, even if it's someone new, I think it's paying it forward. So yeah, so thank you. Congratulations to our winners. Woohoo! Big round of applause. All right. Wow. So excited to start coaching them. Okay. Um, let's see. What do we have here? Oh, we have Letty asking a question again. So Letty, thank you. Thank you for being here again. Why do I need to define my business in details? So very good question. And there's two arguments here. And so one is that um, you need to have details for your business because one, let's say for example, you want to seek for funding. You want to find investors, or you want to take a loan from the bank. So investors, the banks, they need more information before they can give you the money, right? And so that's one of the reasons you want to have details for your business. And then for you as well as an entrepreneur, as much as possible, you need to know, your business. You need to know the marketing side. You need to know how you're gonna reach out to your target clients. You need to know your numbers, your operational costs, your income, etc., etc. So a lot of these things you need to know the details. Then there's this other side of the argument wherein I understand, which is how much is the details that you need. Like how much. So I answered the why, right? So the question is now how much details do you need? So for one, if you are starting a small business and you are a solopreneur, like you don't have much, you're putting in your own money, or maybe you're not putting in a lot of capital at first, then you don't need a lot of details. What you need is to get started, right? So that's a big difference. So when you are starting a small business and then you are putting in your own money or maybe a little bit of money, then you don't need the details, but you need to get started. And that's one of the the approaches that I do is to get started immediately, because then I get to test the market, I get to reach out to my potential clients, and then I get feedback. The feedback is the most important thing as an entrepreneur for you, because then you will know, hey, people like my product, people like my service, and then okay, then maybe I can do that. There are people who will pay me for that. So if your business is small enough, then the thing that you need to do is start, right? So you don't need a lot of details, just enough, then you can start. But if you are targeting a bigger business wherein you need a lot of money, like you need capital from the bank, taking loan from the bank or from investors, then you need really more details. You need a very clear marketing plan. You need a clear financial statement. All these things. So that is the difference there, Letty. Okay, good. Ooh, interesting question. I think I have time for two more questions. Okay, Han Han ask, does success need intelligence? What do you guys think? So success doesn't necessarily need intelligence, right? And when we are talking about intelligence, we are talking about like you need to be really smart, like really really smart. And no, you don't. I've known a lot of successful entrepreneurs or successful people who are very savvy, who are very resourceful. And there's so many ways to become successful. But one thing that you need to know for yourself is you need to understand what are your strengths, right? And leverage on your strengths. That's how you're gonna, be successful. So like for me, I don't consider myself in the category of intelligent people. No. I am very experienced. I've experienced a lot of things because that's what I like to do. I like trying things and then learning from it. But in terms of my definition of intelligence, like my classmates in school last time, they're really really smart. Their grades are very high. I'm just the naughty boy running around, and so I don't consider myself as an intelligent person. But I know what I'm good at. I know how I can, succeed. Even while I was an employee, I know how to, move around the company where I'm able to experience success. I know how to interact, build relationships, create trust. I know all of these things. And because of that, I managed to climb the corporate ladder quite well. And I managed to like move from one country to another country and be promoted as well. And it's because I'm not intelligent. I am capable in other things. So the answer to this question, you don't need intelligence um, in that definition. But what you need is to know what are you good at, what are your strengths, and then leverage on those. Yep. And I believe that 100%. Good. All right. Oh, there's some interesting post there. We have question from Irene Malbog. Irene, why customer retention rate is important in business? Customer retention rate. Okay, so this is a bit technical, right? So customer retention rate is basically is a calculation of how many customers are you able to keep versus how many customer that comes in, right? So so in your business, so imagine, can you see? So imagine this is your business. So customer comes in and your customer needs to stay inside the business, right? But not all your customer will stay inside. Some will, get out, like stop buying from you, stop following you or whatever. And so this customer retention rate is the rate wherein, how many people you're able to keep. And I think that's what Irene is asking. It is an important number because then it's data, right? It's data. Then you'll be able to know if your processes, your system is basically working to keep as many customers as possible inside your business, right? So let's say for example, let's use milk. Let's say you're selling milk. You know milk? Yeah, milk, cow's milk. And there's so many people selling milk, right? There's so many companies selling milk. And basically, for example, your business, you get 10 customers in, and then out of that 10, only 5 stay as your client. So basically your retention rate is 50%. And now you need to understand, for yourself, is this good enough? Is this customer retention rate is good? Because you have, and this is very technical, right? You have cost for getting clients, and then you have cost for keeping the customers. And if 50% customer retention rate makes sense for you, like financially, then you can keep that number. But if it's not working for you, then you need to change something in your system, and you need to make your customer retention rate higher, right? So that's why this is important in business. And this comes when you're starting to grow bigger. When your business starts to grow bigger, then you can start looking into that kind of customer retention rate and all these things. But if your business is a bit small, what is important to create relationships, to build trust with your customers, that's what I suggest that you will do, is to focus on that first if it's a small business. Okay, one more question. Da-da-da-da. There's several questions here. Let me just find them. Oh, and if you haven't, right, if you're new to this channel, whew, I almost forgot. My mentor will scold me. If you're new to this channel, please do like and subscribe to the channel if you're new, so that next time you get a notification when is our next live, or if I upload a new video, then you will get notified for that as well, right? So thank you for being here. And then, okay, this is an interesting question from Nguyen Dang Yenny. Is it possible to turn a negative into positive? And I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nguyen, is that this is experience, right? A negative experience to a positive experience. So, so I'm assuming that for now. If I'm wrong, just correct me. Okay, definitely, and it's possible. So I think I mentioned about that gratefulness earlier, right? When I'm not in a good state, then I practice that gratefulness exercise, and then it changes my state. So one there in neuro linguistic programming, in NLP, we call this reframe. So we know that language is very powerful, right? Language is very powerful. The words that we use can affect other people, it can also affect us, the language that we use. So I mentioned about how, I gave an example earlier when I sat down and met with someone, and if I complain, and then it affects the other person, right? So not only my energy, but the words that I use. And so language is very powerful, and we can shift a negative into positive by changing our language. And it might sound so simple, but sometimes it's not so easy uh, for people because they are used to speaking in a certain way. So, but definitely it can be a skill that can be practiced and you can develop and become very good at, is using powerful and empowering language instead of disempowering language. And it starts with asking right questions, right? If you can ask right questions, then then your language also changes. So I'll give you a very good example. So example of how you can change the question, right? So one of the things that is in our society that is very popular is, like losing weight, for example. So a lot of people want to lose weight, and then but so there are people who wants to lose weight but are struggling, and then they would ask, why am I fat, for example? Why am I fat? And I mean, there's no kind of like disrespect or anything. I'm just setting and giving an example. So they ask a question, why am I fat? And so that question can be a disempowering one, because the answers that you will get when you ask that question will be something like a reason, to add on to the negative stuff. So what you can do is ask a more empowering question, which is, how can I become healthier, for example? Or maybe the question that you can ask yourself is, how can I love my body better? Right? How can I love my body better? So when you ask a more empowering question, the answers that you will get will be positive and empowering as well. So that is how you can change a negative into a positive. I hope I've answered that, Nguyen. All right. So, yes, I know it's 10:02. Oh, yes. Congratulations to Hindin and Christy Dallin. We'll get your contact. And then, yes, got so much takeaway tonight from Regina. You're welcome. More power. Thank you very much. More power. Um, Irene, thank you. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, and for staying until 10:03. And I'll see you again next week. And I hope I'm weekly. I'm delivering a lot of value. If you do have questions that you are dying to ask, please do ask them. And if you ask here during the live, it's not only you that is learning, it's also other people learning. So you definitely ask your questions. Don't keep it to yourself, right? Don't keep it to yourself. All right. With that, thank you very much, everyone. And, have a lovely evening. And I will see you again next week. Bye bye.